I'd like to get started, please. Folks, good evening. Pursuant to the New Jersey... There you go. Thank you. Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertising such notice in the Home News Tribune, the Asbury Park Press, the Board Office, the schools, and on Cablevision Channel 118 and Verizon Fios Channel 24, and by filing such notice with the Township Clerk. Due to the inclement weather and the cancellation of the March 14th meeting, this meeting was rescheduled for Thursday, March 16, 2017. The board will take formal action on payment of bills and other agenda items. Mr. Mara?
The Old Bridge Township Board of Education acknowledges that the law of this state establishes that members of the public, including members of the board, have the right to record public board meetings using audio and video recording devices, provided that that act of recording does not interfere with the business of this public board meeting. Therefore, the board makes it known that any such recording is to be considered the private recording of the individual and in no manner represents the official record of this board. The board therefore takes no responsibility for such private recording and completely disavows any future use.
Thank you, Mr. Mara. Roll call, please.
Andriani? Callie?
Here.
Dunn? Here. Dinoff?
Present.
Ellis Foster?
Here.
Reed? Singh?
Here.
Weber? DePrima?
Here. Mr. Reed is running a little late.
Quorum exists.
Can everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Move the board acknowledge the passing of Glenda Pade, Old Bridge Board of Education school bus driver, and Renee Shorman, noon hour supervisor, Shepherd School. We express our deepest sympathy to their friends and family. Thank you all. Please be seated. Good evening, and thank you all for coming out tonight. We're going to start off with our Code of Ethics corner. Mrs. Ellis Foster's volunteered to read it.
Code of Ethics Corner for this month. The board member will refuse to surrender his or her independent judgment to special interest or partisan political groups, or to use the school for personal gain or for the gain of friends.
Thank you, Mrs. Ellis Foster. I always forget, approval of minutes. Do we have to take a vote on that? Okay, approval of minutes. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Discussion? Mr. Mara?
Callie?
Yes.
Dunn? Yes. Dinoff?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Singh?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes. Okay, report of Student Senate Representative. Courtney, have anything for us?
So the first official Disney meeting for the seniors was on March 9th, and then there was a parent meeting tonight that I think ended. There's a speaker for City of Angels that was about not abusing drugs that the seniors also got to hear. There was a speaker for SAD Club, Kevin Brooks, who talked to us about drunk driving. The play, Once Upon a Mattress, for the high school is the 23rd, 24th, and 25th, so next weekend. There's the Instant Vibes open mic show on March 2nd, which raised over $300 for suicide awareness and prevention. The Helping Hands Club is also having a open mic night on March 30th. Students are starting to get ready for park testing. There's, for the SAT for the Catalyst Prep, there was over 45 people, and a percentage of that money is going to go towards scholarship for the students. For the ACTs, there's going to be another Catalyst Prep on April 1st and 2nd, and another one for the SATs on the 29th and 30th of April, and there might be also another one in the summer. For juniors, there will be peer leadership applications going out soon, and there's also a food drive that's been started, and that goes until March 23rd.
A lot of stuff going on. Thank you, Courtney. Okay, usually our favorite part of the meeting, recognition. I will turn it over to Mr. Cittadino.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this point, I would ask that our Director of many things, but tonight Director of the Arts, Ms. Anahita Keeler, please come to the podium. And we will be recognizing two of our Old Bridge High School students, Pamela Forelli and Nicholas Katriniak, for their selection to the New Jersey All-State Band. These students represented Old Bridge students and Old Bridge schools at a performance at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark on February 25th, 2017. Criteria for all-state participation is extremely selective, making this honor highly prestigious. Old Bridge recognizes Old Bridge High School Band Director Mrs. Melissa Thatcher for professionalism and dedication towards these students and the ongoing support of the arts in Old Bridge.
You're actually going to be in for a treat before they receive their certificates, because we believe that you should earn your certificate. So I'll be calling them up in a minute, but I just wanted to explain to everybody and then hand the mic over to Ms. Thatcher as well. The New Jersey Music Educators Association is an organization that recognizes and supports students and teachers throughout the state in the advancement of music and performing arts. And each year, students are selected by their teachers to audition regionally, and then if they are accepted, those few select students get to audition for the All-State Band. And each of these auditions, I know this personally, at each of these auditions, students have to perform a range of scales, rehearsed and sight reading blindly with judges in a one-on-one audition. And only select few students in each instrument category are selected for this All-State Symphonic Band. This year, our first year, we had two Old Bridge High School students who were selected into this prestigious band, senior Pamela Ferrali and junior Nicholas Katriniak. Yes, I did it. Pamela earned one of only 4 seats for mallets, that beautiful instrument you see up there, the marimba, and Nick earned one of only 4 seats for the euphonium. And you're going to get a chance to hear both of them play in a few moments. But I would be remiss if I did not mention Miss Melissa Thatcher, under whose tutelage our students continue to shine. And if you know Melissa, you know her passion and love for music go well beyond the walls of the classroom. And Old Bridge truly is grateful to her for all she does, because she does it every day, instilling the love of music in her students and challenging them to go beyond their own expectations. So thank you, Ms. Thatcher, and thank you, students.
I just wanted to say a couple of things, just because these two students, in all my years here at Old Bridge, these have been the first two students accepted to all-state band, which is a really big accomplishment for the music program here. As you heard them, they are some of the best musicians now across the state of New Jersey. I am honored to be their teacher, and watching them perform has been one of my greatest joys as being a music educator. They work an innumerable amount of hours, and I'm sure if any of you have walked through the halls of Old Bridge High School, I'm sure you hear music through those halls. And many times it's these two students that have been working so many hours. And they're extremely talented, and I know that they're going to achieve great successes throughout their musical career. In fact, I'd like to congratulate senior Pam Ferrali. She just got accepted to Rutgers University for the Mason Gross Music Department. So thank you so much.
Come on up. You have earned your certificate. Congratulations. Congratulations, Pam, and congratulations, Nick. Now they're really going to show you what they're made of. Watch them remove this very large, beautiful instrument off the stage.
It must be very difficult to get that on the bus every morning.
Thank you, Pamela. Thank you, Pamela and Nicholas and Mrs. Thatcher. Wonderful performance, and congratulations to you both. Mr. Cittadino, I think we have another.
Yes, we do. If I could have Mr. Dunn and Ms. Fazio please go to the dais this time, as we're going to recognize one of our Old Bridge High School students. Move the board to recognize Caitlin Ellis Foster, 12th grader, Old Bridge High School, for achieving the Gold Award in Girl Scouts for Troop 81816, located in Old Bridge. I'm aware of her project because we talked about it before she began the project at Old Bridge High School in the field of science, so please take it away.
Good evening. Caitlin started Girl Scouts as a kindergartner, and through the 5th grade, she and her friends from Troop 81816 had their meetings at Shepherd School. While juniors, the troop earned their Bronze Award by organizing and holding a Go Green Fair, and Caitlin and Nicole Carbone started this green team at Shepherd that's still, to this day, going strong. After being accepted and attending the Honeywell Leadership Challenge Academy at the NASA Space Center in Huntsville, Alabama last spring, Caitlin got her itch, and she wanted to share what she learned and excite other students about science and earn her Girl Scout Gold Award. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Gold Award is the Girl Scouts' highest honor, and it is earned by only 5% of Girl Scouts. To earn a Gold Award, the Scout must complete two Girl Scout Senior or Ambassador journeys, or one of those, and have earned the Silver Award. And also, plan and implement an individual take-action project that reaches beyond the Girl Scout community. In the summer of 2016, Caitlin held a 2-day workshop for middle school students. It was a very hands-on 2 days with a guest speaker, volunteers from the High School Physics Honor Society, and help from her advisors, Old High School, our own science teacher, Mrs. Durning, and troop leader, co-leader, Mrs. Carbone, who is here as well. Caitlin also had a booth at the Old Bridge Saltwater Day where children could try different experiments. The workbook and materials have been shared with the Old Bridge High School Physics Honor Society, and to continue on the work in the spring, they will be doing more sessions with students at Shepherd and Cooper schools. So we talk about our national schools of character, right? Caitlin, come on up for a second. So now it's time to embarrass you a little bit. So on a personal note, this fine young lady exemplifies what it is to be a National School of Character. She is a peer leader, and she is always the first one to do the right thing. So, on behalf of Old Bridge High School, I congratulate you on your accomplishment. Congratulations. And I would say that, Mrs. Ellis Foster, even if you weren't here, as tears are flying from her mouth.
Oh, she's very proud.
Mr. Citizen, do we have the certificate? Do you have it with you? Yes. Thank you, sir. I have to get a picture again.
Congratulations, Kate.
Thank you.
Great job.
Let's get in the middle. Oh, okay, middle.
All right, thank you, everyone. Congratulations, Caitlin. Can I have a motion to move recognition, please?
Oh, I'll move that.
That's very appropriate.
Dinoff will second.
Mr. Mara, any discussion? Mr. Mara?
Dunn,
Absolutely, yes.
Dinoff,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
DePrima.
Yes, and congratulations again.
Resolution 1 and 2 pass.
Okay, Mr. Cittadino, it's all yours.
Thank you very much. We'll start off first with the superintendent's report, and it seems like a long time ago, but we're just getting together for the first time. I want to thank everyone from our staff, our parents, our students, our community members, those outside the community, every stakeholder from elected officials to this Board of Education for their role in us demonstrating to the Department of Education that a charter school was not necessary in Old Bridge School District, in the Old Bridge community, and that it would just be a duplication of services for the success that we've already demonstrated here. The best defense against another application, because I'm confident that another application will come, is us to completely or continue to strive for excellence within our service, which is to provide the best education possible for students. And as we continue to receive that recognition for our goals being obtained in that area, I think we put up our best defense against another application. So thank you to everyone for doing their part, and continued success. The next is just an overview of what the ESSA proposal is from the federal government. The ESSA replaces No Child Left Behind, and New Jersey, like every state, has to come up with a plan to adopt or be in accordance with the ESSA. So I was recently at a meeting with the Department of Education, and I wanted to share with all the stakeholders some of the state's plan, because it definitely will impact Old Bridge schools and how we serve the needs of our students. One of the areas is the change in accountability for schools in need of support. Right now, New Jersey has priority and focus schools. Priority being the schools that need the most work for the overall school to raise its level of student achievement. And beyond that are focus schools, which indicate there is a gap of level of achievement between one subgroup and a higher subgroup. And why that's in place in every highly diverse school district in the state of New Jersey, especially in the middle school level, because that's where that diversity is, and you have the testing. It doesn't happen in high schools because high schools did not have the high-stake testing during the No Child Left Behind era. That during No Child Left Behind, the goal was to get every student, regardless of subgroup, to 100% proficiency on standardized testing. Whether you believe that's possible or you believe that's not possible, that was the goal, and every group was heading towards that, and great educators were moving students toward that direction. And when that happens, some subgroups will move further towards that goal and faster towards that goal than others. Such is the case at Jonas Salk Middle School. Through no fault of their own, moving in that direction as directed by the Department of Education and federal regulations, they were moving every student towards 100% proficiency. In that school, the Asian population moved the fastest. The special needs population moved, but did not move as fast as towards 100% as the Asian population. Then the Department of Education shifted gears and said, no, we're going to look at the gaps within the schools, not looking at everybody getting towards that safe harbor or adequate yearly progress towards 100%. We want to look and see there's gaps between subgroups now. And sure enough, there were, because the Asian population at Jonas Salk School, moving towards that 100%, created a gap between the special needs population that wasn't moving as fast towards the 100%. And they said, we're going to determine that now as a focus school, and let's focus on the gap within there and close that gap between the special needs population and the Asian population. So now in revisiting it, they're re-examining what they might have missed. Well, I'm going to say was a mistake in the way they're directing accountability. And what they're going to do now is look at schools that need these measures across the whole school, and then schools that have subgroup concerns, but not comparing the subgroups within the schools to each other, comparing that subgroup to the same subgroup across the state. And schools that don't meet that measure will be called targeted schools. So if you have a population of, let's say, low socioeconomics in a middle school, and they're performing low, they'd have to perform as low or lower than the lowest 5% in the state of low socioeconomic students to be now named a targeted school. I think that's what's fair. I think to look at gaps within a school of different subgroups is not really what the accountability regulations should be doing. And the goal now under this new state plan would be to move to everyone to 80% proficiency. The 80% of the population would be proficient on these assessments, which is much more realistic, looking across all the subgroups. Another big change is something that I'm very proud that this district has already started as its goal, and one of the charges I gave to the educators and leaders on our first in-service way back in September was to look at chronic absenteeism. I had no crystal ball. I had no idea that that was where the state was going to go, but that is the goal, that there is an additional criteria or component that states must adopt as part of the ESSA. And New Jersey looked for a measurable outcome that they don't have to spend more money on. Many states like California, Texas, Florida went towards school environment and character education. I would have loved that that was the measure, because we already do a lot in character education, have the data to support it. But not every school takes those surveys, and not every school does that level of support. So to get that measure, they'd have to mandate everyone do school climate surveys and everyone do character education pieces, and they weren't about to start a new mandate. So they looked at data that they do have that every school measures, and that's absenteeism. So the proposed new criteria for ESSA will be that every school must reduce its number of students who are absent 10% or more of the year. It's about 18 days, K to 12. So if you have students who are absent 18 or more days, you have to reduce that number of students every year who are absent at that level. There's not a lot of information now as to what that means, that 18, are those excused days? Are those medically excused days? So that information has to become more concrete, and we'll have more information about that going forward. And lastly, was one area that's a big concern is they say there's no wiggle room in the 95% participation rate for the park, that it's federally mandated that you have to have 95% participation in this type of assessment, whether you're taking the park or another assessment, to be compliant with the ESSA. Well, the problem that it puts is that the administrative code, which was just adopted, alters the graduation requirements for high school students, and states that, you know, if for the students that are now in grades 10 through 12, they have to have passed one assessment on the park in English and math to have a graduation, to meet the graduation requirement. Well, the state and federal government is saying, well, we want everyone, regardless if they passed it once or not, to have 95% participation. So it kind of runs against each other and what messages you're telling the students who've already passed the assessment. So we're going to have to work our best to do that, because for the first time, they're going to count at least a portion of the students, 5% of the students. If you're below 95% participation, that 5% will count against you as being students who didn't meet proficiency. They're going to assume that those students who didn't take it, that 5% of students that didn't take it, did not meet proficiency, and they'll be taken off of your grade of the divisor used to determine the proficiency overall for the school. So obviously that has a big impact, and we'll have to do our best to ensure as much possible the 95% participation rate. The last thing I want to talk to you about is the superintendent's progress towards goals. One of the goals given to this administrative team by the board, and namely myself, is to increase shared services. Without going into great detail about them until they're finalized, some of the newest ones that have come up in the past month, shared services programs that we're entering into, an emergency access road for this campus. If there is a car accident, a severe car accident, or a truck, oil spill, whatever, at 516 and the entrance to this school that closes down that entrance, we would have a lot of people stuck on this campus because we really lack an exit route. Aside from going through Guyk Park, which really has an access road, but really not an emergency access road. This shared service agreement would provide us with an emergency access road right onto 516 through new construction that'll be going on. A second is to address the need of substance abuse that we're seeing post-high school graduation, and the number across the state and across the nation with opiate deaths in this country. And we're looking to bring additional substance abuse education into Old Bridge schools, and having an outside business fund a portion of that. And lastly is to assist our students with their funds that they have to spend to attend school here, looking to get some support and sponsorship for them, so less money is coming out of their student pocket and parent pockets. Overall, the estimation is that these will be about $78,000 worth of shared services to benefit the district and the students who attend our schools. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Mara, any correspondence? Special committee reports. I guess we'll start on this side. Mr. Singh, not yet, right? Mr. Reed, Mr. Dinoff. Kelly? No. Did you? No? Jill, please.
Okay. The Board of Education Curriculum and Visual and Performing Arts Committee met on February 27th. The curriculum showcase of the month was the Rutgers Computer Coding Camp. Dr. Cascone shared the details regarding the two-day girls' computer coding camp, on which the district partnered with the Douglas Project Rutgers Women in Math, Science, and Engineering. The camp was part of an ongoing 6 through 12 initiative to provide increased exposure for female students to engineering and computer science. Dr. Cascone and parent chaperones accompanied 40 female students from Sandburg and Sauk to Rutgers University. Students received guided tours of the computer and engineering facilities, tried out virtual reality gadgets, and coded their own websites using the HTML computer language. Dr. Lombardi reported to the committee on the elementary writing rubrics for grades K through 8. The revision of the writing rubrics is part of the K-12 ELA initiative to establish consistency in writing instruction and assessment. ELA lead teachers are currently working on an elementary grade level writing prompts, which will be used to benchmark and track student progress. Dr. Lombardi also provided an update on the Rutgers literacy coaching, along with the proposal to continue the program in elementary schools. Dr. Ferreira updated the committee on the elementary math adoptions. Dr. Ferreira shared the rationale and projected timeline to research and implement the adoption of an elementary core math program for 2018-2019 school year. The current program will be going into its 8th year of use. The online license for this program is expiring, which is another factor necessitating a new adoption. Dr. Cascone briefed the committee on the I Am Safe and Sure program. This program is a first grade substance abuse awareness program and was proposed for piloting with the first grade in 2016-2017. The program is now being implemented in all of the elementary schools and is funded through a partnership with the Old Bridge Municipal Alliance. It's being introduced as part of the district's efforts to bring substance abuse prevention program to all grade levels, K through 12. Our next meeting is scheduled for March 27th. And I just have a short report from the Municipal Alliance as it pertains to Board of Ed. The Municipal Alliance last met on February 15th. The Safe and Sure program, as I said, was piloted in the, at McDivitt and Cooper schools. The Municipal Alliance will be paying for this program to go into all first grades next year. So we thank them for that. There was a discussion of student ambassadors having a T-shirt design contest, and I was asked if the Board of Ed and administration would be willing to judge the contest. And I'll be getting more information at the next meeting. A question was raised whether opiate prevention programming has reached all levels, grade levels at the high school. Mr. Sasso attended the meeting, and he advised that they're still attempting to hit every grade level. Speakers have been planned for grades 9 and 12. There is going to be another town hall meeting planned for April, and the Alliance has asked for the assistance of the Board of Education and Administration to help spread the word. The March meeting was scheduled for yesterday and was canceled, so the next Municipal Alliance meeting is scheduled for April 19th. That's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Cowley. Mr. Dunn, anything?
Yes. On Wednesday, February 15th, we had a committee to hold for the Finance Committee to discuss our money situation for the 2018 school year, and we sat and we deliberated and went over where we stood concerning our finances. Obviously, this is the time of year where we're putting together and constructing our budget, and we went through the process very thoroughly. We definitely had a difficult time in trying to put a budget together due to all the restraints that we have financially in the district. However, I think that the board will be voting tonight on a tentative budget that will keep our services in place and making sure that our educational enrichment stays to our word. We're in business to educate our children and to give them the finest education, but we realize that the taxpayers fund our school system, so we need to walk a very fine line here. However, this board is committed and unified in ensuring that we provide the utmost best educational enhancement for our kids, and I think our tentative budget does reflect that tonight. The budget that we came up with tentatively will increase our tax levy by 2.79% over the 12 months of next year. It's very important to remember that our expenses are continuously on the rise, and we need to find unique ways of trying to balance our budget, and it's a very difficult process. But like I said earlier, this board is committed to ensuring that our children receive the finest education, and I can speak for a good majority of us, and we all felt the same, that we weren't going to cut programs. We were going to keep our programs on the upward swing. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to our illustrious business administrator so we can go through it little by little here so that everyone can understand the details of the tentative budget for 18 school year.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. The budget that's being voted on tonight is the adoption of the tentative budget, which means that it's the budget that we will be submitting to the county superintendent and to the state for approval for advertising. It's not the final budget. The final budget will be voted on April 27th. And between tonight and that night, the budget is always subject to change if there are events that enable us to change it. The overall budget, the tentative budget, is $156,586,937. Of that, $150,771,000 $708 is the general fund. Grants and entitlements are $3,174,292, and repayment of debt is $2,650,938. That budget will be funded by a local tax levy, both for the general fund and the debt service tax levy of $98,970,000 and $98,970,242. And as Mr. Dunn said, the impact on the average taxpayer in Old Bridge will be $89 for the entire 17-18 period. This budget is allowing us to go over the 2% cap as a result of the inflation in healthcare costs. The additional healthcare costs will exceed $650,000. We are using $500,000 of our emergency reserve money to cover that increased cost, and we're using $140,000 of that to go above the tax levy. In addition, we have banked cap, which is a mechanism that's in place to use from prior years where we did not go up to 2%. We can use that to modify the existing budget or the upcoming budget to go over the 2% cap. So we're using $579,000 or $597,000 of banked cap. We're using $140,000 of healthcare cap adjustments, and the budget includes $2 million of capital projects, $900,000 of maintenance projects, and in 17-18, our energy savings improvement plan, which is roughly $16.4 million, will be implemented, and that will be paid over a 15-year period, and that will be budget neutral. And the first payment for that project, for those projects, will begin in 2017-18. Thank you, Mr. Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn and Mr. Mara. Okay, colleagues, facilities use is in your packet, and next is hearing of the residents on agenda items only. Anybody?
Obviously, I've been here for the first time only. I'm a teacher for the past 20 years. Where do I look? Look, I have to change this. I'm a teacher for the past 20 years in the Old Bridge School District, and I'm very proud to say that I am a teacher. It's been a delight and a privilege to teach the students over the past 20 years. Several of you on the board, I've taught your children as well. Mrs. Cowley, hello. I had the opportunity to speak at the last board meeting to express my feelings about the days given off for the 2017-2018 calendar for the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah. As I stated before, I felt it was not the right strategy to give the students off the 2 days for the holiday and only offer 1 day off for the teachers. This is a sacred holiday observed by the Jewish people for 2 days, and it is spent in synagogue and with family. I had asked that consideration be given to this matter at the last meeting on March 7th, and that the 2 days off be granted to the students as well as the staff. In addition, it has been brought to the attention of several faculty members that the clergy members from several local synagogues have reached out to Mr. Sedadino and the board to express their feelings and concerns regarding the holy days of Rosh Hashanah. These clergy members are from synagogues in the area that provide worship for many of our students and our families, our staff, as well as our faculty in Old Bridge. I would hope that the board has taken what they have said into consideration and have received their emails or their correspondence and have perhaps responded back to them or have been affected by what they have said. Based on the input of the staff and the local clergy, I ask that the 2 days be granted to teachers as well, and that the in-service be provided at a later date on the 2017-2018 calendar. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
First, I want to thank the Board of Education for all their dedication and time, as I know how much time goes into it. As I serve on a board as I serve as a board member in a neighboring town. I am here tonight to raise my concern in regards to the 2017-2018 calendar. I'm glad it snowed on Tuesday because I was able to get here tonight. It is quite upsetting to see that the second day of Rosh Hashanah is being considered for a staff development day, bringing us to 3 professional days in the month of September. Rosh Hashanah is a 2-day holiday, and teachers should not be penalized. My children, who attend school in 2 different districts, will be off as their schools are closed for all, staff and students. Me, on the other hand, would have to take the day off to observe the holiday with my family and miss the professional development. If you do a search online for Rosh Hashanah 2017, you will all see that it begins on sundown, Wednesday, September 20th, and it ends at nightfall on Friday, September 22nd, the day of our professional day. On ASOP, our online substitute program, religious observance is not even a choice for a reason of absence. We are a national school of character. I don't believe that this decision exemplifies the pillars of character. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? Any agenda items? Seeing no hands, we'll close that part. Policy, Mr. Singh, I believe you have a meeting scheduled for next week?
Yes, we have a meeting on March 21st, Tuesday, so everybody's invited there.
Public's welcome. Thank you. Curriculum, professional development, items 1 through 2. In item 1, I have a administrative change. Please delete letter D from the first box. Can I have a motion to move items 1 and 2 minus item D?
Then we'll make a motion for curriculum professional development, items 1 and 2, excluding D and number 1.
Dinoff will second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Discussion? Mr. Mara?
Callie,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Dinoff,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
DePrima.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 and 2 pass.
Athletics, item 1. Have a motion to move, please?
Dinoff will move athletics, item 1.
Mr. Dinoff in a second.
Callie will second.
Mrs. Callie? Discussion? Okay, Mr. Mara?
Callie, Dunn,
Yes.
Dinoff,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Singh, DePrima.
Yes.
Resolution 1 passes.
Okay, finance, items 1 through, 22. Can I have a motion to move finance items 1 through 22, please?
Then we'll make a motion to move finance items 1 through 22, Mr. President.
And second?
Single second.
Discussion? Questions?
Yes, Mr. DePrima, just in reference to item 21, the tentative budget, I know we'll be having a presentation next month, so I'll save my comments and the specifics for them, but I just wanted to take a brief moment to thank Mr. Mara for his tireless effort and also for really guiding us through the process, a very difficult budgetary process with a lot of unknown factors. So I appreciate his dedication and expertise very much in answering my many, many pages of questions, as always. Thank you, Mr. Mara.
Any other discussion or questions?
I just wanted to point out number 11 and 12. We reached agreement with 2 of our bargaining units. With our administrators, actually, I just saw Mr. Sasso here, who was here representing them, and our directors. So we're happy to have 2 of them done and approved. So we're moving along well with all the others. So it's nice that it's March and we have those 2 already done. So thanks to everybody on the committees working on that. It's a lot of time. Mr. Mara and Mr. Sedino, Dr. Hoker, Mr. Parton, Mr. DePrima, Miss Adriani, who's home nursing an injury, and Mr. Singh. So thanks, everyone, for the great work, and we're continuing to work with our other unions and continue to make great progress.
Thank you, Mrs. Ellis Foster. For those of you who don't know, Mrs. Ellis Foster heads the negotiations committee, and as she said, everything seems to be moving along nicely. Any other questions or discussions?
Just one more point. Item 22, I just noticed on the resolution, the time for the tentative budget hearing is 7 PM, but I believe it's listed at 7:30 later in the agenda. Can we just confirm?
Mr. Mara, did you note what Mr. Dino said? The time? Okay. Anything else? Okay, Mr. Mara?
Mr.
Well,
DePrima,
there's some abstentions, right?
just for clarification on numbers 11 and 12, the memoranda of agreement with the Directors and Administrators Associations, due to employment of family members in the school district, Mr. Dunn, Ms. Callie, and Mr. Reed, and you need to abstain on those two items. So if, Mr. Mayor, if you want to pre-mark that, then you can consider yourselves to have abstained. Thanks.
And just those two items?
Yes, those are the only two legal requirements, yes.
You'll separate them?
No, you'll just be marked as abstaining on them, so we do not have to separately discuss that. That is taken care of.
Understood? Okay, so Mr. Mara, roll call on items 1 through 10? Oh, well, if they're abstaining, it's just 1 through 22 then, right?
Yes.
Okay, I apologize. It's 1 through 22.
Dunn?
Yes.
Dinoff?
Yes.
Wait.
Ellis Foster?
Yes, however, I would like to abstain from number 14.
Reed?
Is this where I abstain?
No, you say yes.
Your abstentions are noted on those two already.
So is that a yes, Mr. Reed, for everything else?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Singh?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 22 pass, and I thank all the board members for voting for the tentative budget.
And as Mr. Dino said, thank you for your diligence and hard work in putting it together. Okay, non-certificated personnel office, items 1 and 2. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll move it.
A second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? This is where Mr. Weber usually congratulates the people that are retiring. In his absence, I will do it for him. Mrs. Torgensen and Ms. Schroeder, thank you for your years of service. We appreciate everything you've done for us and wish you the best in your retirement. Any other discussion? Mr. Mara, roll call?
Dinoff?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Singh?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Resolutions 1 and 2 pass.
Nothing on this non-certificated personnel operational, excuse me. Non-certificated personnel other, items 1 through 7. Can I have a motion, please?
Dinoff will move.
I'll second.
I apologize. Who's the second? Kelly. Okay, okay.
Jeff. Mr. Reed abstaining on number 2?
Yes.
I think Jeff,
Mr. Mara got that?
Who was the second?
I was the second.
Ms. Ellis Foster.
Mr. Reed is abstaining.
Abstaining from,
Number 2.
apologize for the confusion, everyone. Any discussion on items 1 and 2? Again, congratulations to the, I'm not sorry, they're not retiring. Mr. Mara, roll call.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Singh?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Dino?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 7 pass.
Okay, certificated personnel, items 1 through, how many? Items 1 through 15. I need a motion, please.
I'll move it.
Ms. Ellis Foster, second.
I'll second.
Ms. Callie, discussion? Okay, this one does have two retirements. Ms. Scalamonte and Ms. Goodwin, again, thank you for your years of service, and best of luck to you in your retirement. Any other discussion? Roll call, Mr. Mara?
Reed?
Yes.
Singh? Callie?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Dinoff?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 15 pass.
Non-certificated personnel, numbers 1 and 2. Can I have a motion, please?
Dunn will make a motion, non-certificated personnel transportation 1 and 2, and I'd like to have a discussion, please.
Dinoff will second.
Something wrong? Okay, discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. I see that Linda Palumbo, who's been a longtime employee of the Transportation Division, is on the agenda this evening to be made director. I think she brings years of experience and knowledge, and she's very well respected by the staff in the Transportation Division, and I think she's going to fill large shoes that have been vacated by Denise Capasso. So I want to congratulate Linda Palumbo for by being named Director of Transportation. I am confident that the Transportation Division will be in great hands with your stewardship. So thank you for everything you're going to do for us in the future, and you have large shoes to fill with taking over for Denise. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Anyone else? I'd just like to say, Mrs. Capasso, again, thank you for everything, and Mrs. Palumbo, welcome, and I'm sure you will do the right thing with this position. I think the testament shows everybody that's here to support you, too. I don't think any other words are needed besides your colleagues here to support you. Thank you both. Okay, Mr. Mara, roll call.
Singh?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Dinoff?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Resolutions 1 and 2 pass, and also congratulations to Ms. Palumbo.
Congratulations, ladies. Okay, supplies, equipment, and services, items 1 through 13. Can I have a motion, please?
Dinoff will move supplies, equipment, and services, resolutions 1 through 13.
Mr. Dinoff, second.
Reed will second it.
Mr. Reed. Any discussion? Okay, Mr. Mara, roll call.
Callie?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Dinoff?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Singh?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 13 pass.
Moving on to transportation, items 1 through 3. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll
Done.
move it. All right.
Dunn will second.
Ms. Ellis Foster and Mr. Dunn, thank you. Any discussion or questions? Mr. Mara?
Callie?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Dinoff?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Singh?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 3 pass.
Miscellaneous, items 1 through 5. Can I have a motion, please?
Dunn will make a motion, miscellaneous items 1 through 5, Mr. President.
And a second?
I'll move.
Mr. Dunn and Ms. Ellis Foster. Any discussion or questions?
First, on item number 1, so the public hearing on the budget, this will read 7 PM? Or is the other one being amended?
It's differing times, 7:30 or 7 o'clock on the... Mr. Dinoff, 7?
Yes,
Good?
okay. And then I would like to separate 5 for discussion and voting.
You say discussion? Anybody else? Okay. Mr. Mara, roll call on items 1 through 4, please.
Callie?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Dinoff?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Singh?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 4 pass.
Okay, discussion on number 5. Excuse me. Mr. Dino, if you did it, so you want to start?
Yes. Okay, I'd just like to discuss the 2017-2018 school calendar. I'd first like to thank everyone for their input and for reaching out to the board members and also to the administration and to calendar committee for really helping and giving us the research and different options. Now, I think that the board has agreed on a calendar for students, but the lingering concern is the September 22nd in-service day for staff right now. And upon research and upon listening to a lot of insightful individuals reaching out to us, I see that there will be a lot of staff members that will not be able to attend this day. And I think we really have to weigh the concern based on convenience versus a mandatory observance for some people. So I fully respect that, and I read for like 6 teachers, I'm in one elementary school alone, and many more at the middle schools and the high school. So I really would rather to have this in service on a different day. I know that was my position earlier last month as well, thank you. That was my position earlier last month, and I brought this up originally that I thought this was a concern. And I fully respect the decision of the board and the consensus of the board, but unfortunately, I'll have to vote no on this calendar for this reason. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dinoff. Anybody else? Okay.
Callie? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Mara, I'm sorry.
Callie? It's on item number 5.
This is for item number 5.
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Dinoff?
No.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Singh?
Yes, there's a part of me that wants to say no, but there's no option of being confused. I'm confused, but as an educator and I understand the work that administration is doing to make this district great, and it's very hard to set up a calendar, make everybody happy, so I'm going for it, yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Resolution 5 passes.
Hearing of residents on any school district item. Anybody? Mr. O'Neill?
I just wanted to say a few words about the successful opposition to the charter school. There are many towns that face what we faced with having a charter school try to open up in our town. And very few towns can gather together and work together to put an opposition to that movement together like you did in Old Bridge. Not every town has the social networking or the pride in their town to do what this community did. I just wanted to make sure that I had a chance to recognize that. And I'd like to thank everyone who played a role in that, all the OBEA members, of course, board members, administration, town council, and most especially the PTA presidents and all of the PTA members who were very active, and Kim Castaigne, and I think I already said it, but the other PTA presidents who were really very important in getting the word out. So thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill. Anybody else? Any school-related items? Okay, seeing no more hands, I'll close that session. Board members, any old business, new business? Nobody?
I just want to do a reminder of the next strategic planning meeting, and we have the small group next week, and I was just trying to look to see when the next, May 3rd? Not so May 3rd is our next large group, so hopefully everyone can come back out for that one, so.
Anybody else?
I just want to add, Ms. Foster, that at the May 3rd strategic planning session, it's really going to be not about having a lot of discussion about the plan, but kind of the unveiling of the plan, the celebration of the plan, for all the stakeholders who were part of the process or just want to be part of the process. So I invite everyone to come out May 3rd to that strategic planning unveiling. We're going to move the bus, and unveil it and celebrate it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cittadino. Anybody else?
Mr. President?
Sure.
I just want to thank the Board of Education and the administration for assisting the Old Bridge OEM with their request for swapping vehicles. The OEM requested that one of our older buses be utilized and donated to the township for purposes of rehab and for relocation of individuals who have been affected by storms and things of that nature. So I want to thank my colleagues on the board and the administration for making those provisions. It's going to help our OEM department here in Old Bridge to better service our residents in time of need. And it just shows you how different aspects of the municipality can work together for the betterment of the community. So I want to thank my colleagues on the board for making that happen, and working together is in everyone's best interest. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Anybody else?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
I would just like to thank everyone again and echo Mr. O'Neill for their hard work in combating the charter school application. It's very reassuring to see that a very strong public outreach campaign truly still can make a difference. And I agree with Mr. Cittadino that we really have to remain vigilant because this may happen again, and we really have to support our neighbors who are fighting similar struggles right now. Unfortunately, there's a push nationwide and within our state especially to privatize many aspects of public education, and it's very disturbing. And as citizens, we have to make sure that protecting public education is a top priority of ours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Danoff. Anybody else? Oh, going last, I seem to echo what others are saying all the time, but again, thank you to the community in our fight against the charter school. Whether you sent a letter, an email, put a sign on your lawn, signed the petition, whatever you did, it worked, and we're very grateful for everybody's help. This community is amazing. When somebody or something needs something, everybody comes together to help out. We really appreciate it, and like Mr. Cittadino said, it's probably not over, but it is for now, so let's enjoy it while we can. Thank you all. I need a motion to go into closed session. Mr. Parton, explain.
Yes, we're going to go into a brief executive session for attorney-client privilege discussions of cooperative purchasing issues.
Can I have a motion, please?
Dunn will make a motion to go into executive session based upon the request of our counsel.
A second?
Oh, I will. Sure.
Mr. Mauer?
All in favor? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion to
Thank
go
you,
into
everyone, for coming out
executive
tonight.
session.
Have a great night. We will not be back.